My lord, may I mention, Lord, on behalf of the AIMS doctor residents, Lord, Nagpur, Lord. Lord, on account of their being participating in the agitation and the protest, Lord, now they are being victimized, Lord, on one ground or the other, being marked absent.
If they are not on
Lord, but
duty,
they were doing the emergency duties, Lord. But because they were participating in the
are they at work? If they're not at work, they'll be marked absent. How can we ask them to do something?
not allowing in the exams, Lord, in one way or the other, Lord. If a lenient will be taken, Lord, if a lenient will be taken.
If they are on duty, they will not be marked absent. If they are not on duty, the law will have to follow its course. How can we tell the administration to to write something which is not correct?
Not with respect to the exams and all that, Lord, the lenient will be taken, Lord, because of this reason, Lord, they were on protesting or on strike.
That's all right. So ask them to first return to work.
Yes.
Once they return to work, then if nobody is going to take any adverse action against the doctors,
That
let them
will
all
be-
come back to work.
Word from your lordship will work, Lord, for them.
Let them first come back to work, and then if there's any difficulty, just talk to us in the court here. We'll make sure that there's no adverse action against the doctors.
Very well.
We quite see that they were all upset about the fact that there was a very serious incident which took place. But let them first report to work, and then once having
They have reported back, Lord. They have reported back. They have reported back. AIMS Nagpur reported back, Lord. The resident doctor, they have joined this issue, Lord.
Lordship, I mention on behalf of PGI Chandigarh. Your Lordship, there is, Lordship in PGI Chandigarh, they are going in for a rally for 2 hours in the morning, but they're doing all their duties. But for 9 days, their CL has been deducted now from the leave. So that is a victimization.
That's
You also have to write the research papers and
I don't think somebody like Dr. Vivek Lal, he's the director at PGI Chandigarh, that he will do anything which amounts to victimization.
Lordship, I'm only saying.
They're all very
individual.
ultimately the directors of these institutions.
Yes, he made a
They
statement.
also have their heart with the doctors, but
Yes,
they are in a
Lordship.
situation where poor people who come to those institutions cannot be left behind in the lurch.
Yes, sir.
That they take appointments 2 years before the actual date, and then suddenly you're told that you will not be attended to. Let them all resume work. And I'm sure the directors are all very seasoned directors who spend their life in these institutions. They're not going to do anything against the doctor.
I think
Right now, the notice that they have been given is that since or for 9 days you've been on the rally, so we are deducting your 9 days of casual leave.
We'll pass some general order.
Yes.
Pass some general order on that.
Lordship, may I make
Lord, may I say
Please
something?
rest assured, please rest assured that once the doctors, we hope, resume duty, then we will prevail upon the authorities not to take any
adverse?
adverse
Very
action.
well, yes.
But they must first come back to duty for the simple reason, otherwise the people who
They are on duty. They are, all of them are on
people who need the services the most are deprived of their
Yes.
services. That's the only concern. How does the public health infrastructure run if the doctors don't resume work?
Lord, only my lord,
All
one
right,
thing.
now first let's have the status report. We first want to see
Lord,
the
these are
status
the 3
report.
copies. Lord, I believe the anguish of the doctor is correct, but having come from your lordships, an assurance that your lordships are looking into it, my lord, I think that should satisfy.
Malaja.
With the assurance of no adverse action, my lords.
Lords, we are absolutely not grateful to your lordships that lordships have intervened. Lords, we have not been heard, my lords, at all. Our grievances, my lord, are at the forefront because we are, my lord, facing the brunt of this, my lord, whatever
Well,
is.
the reason why we constituted such a broad-based committee is that we have specifically said that the committee shall engage with all stakeholders, including, that will include the resident doctors. So please assure them,
Yes.
that the committee, one second, Ms. Mansaria.
Sorry.
Please assure the resident doctors, they all are young doctors, that they will be heard by the.
We heard, my lord, and some representation.
But tell us one thing, we can hear you, Mr. Ahmed. We hear you for half an hour. We are not the committee. Ultimately, you have to be heard by the committee.
Yes, what we were requesting, my lord, some, my lord's association, whatever your lordship choose, my lord, some representative from the Resident Doctors Association, if they can be a
Yes.
part of the committee.
Yes.
So their
One
voice,
second, Ms.
I'm
Mansaria.
sorry, I'm not saying.
You see, please understand.
we leave it to your lordships, my lord.
Mr. Kamath,
Want
please
the voice-
understand. We have thought through this very carefully. If we start now asking for the representatives of various stakeholders to be a part of the committee, that becomes an impossible process because, the committee's work will then get dislocated. You know what happens. You have such an experience yourself. At the same time, we are conscious of the fact that the primary concerns of the doctors, the nurses, the paramedical staff, that has to be taken into account by the members of the committee. You know, for two things, that on the committee, we have very senior women doctors on the committee. The doctors who are on the committee are people who have worked for a long time in their life as part of public health infrastructure. So therefore, what we have expected the committee to do is that the committee will hear these various stakeholders, namely the interns, the residents, the senior residents, representatives of the nurses, the other paramedical staff. So therefore, you know, they are in a hospital, there are a huge number of stakeholders. The committee will ensure that it will hear representative.
Hold on, in fact, I have taken instructions. So I represent about 30,000 doctors.
Please, and you know, Mr. Kamath, please tell them that the committee will definitely give them a hearing. We'll reiterate that in our order today. We will certainly, Mr. Kamath, your point is well taken. We'll make it clear.
My lords.
Absolutely, Mr. Kamath, we are grateful to you actually for personally, because you know our hearts go out to all those people who have to go to public hospitals. So we will make an observation that the committee would hear all stakeholders, including the Resident Doctors Association. Of course, not 30,000 doctors, but a representative.
One part in the application.
Right. And an appointment can be given to them when the committee assembles, so that the committee can, because your stake is very high and your inputs are very valuable. So please assure the resident doctors that we were now passing an order that the committee will give them a representative voice in putting forth their grievances, their working conditions, so on and so forth.
Today and
Without suggestion,
can then call off their Milord's protest.
we will also say that.
My lord,
Can
my lord,
add-
I appear for
Lordship,
the
permitted me to
RG
add-
car.
Mr. Ansari and then Mr.
Yes.
Lord, I appear for the Delhi Medical Association.
Yes,
Lord, we filed a writ petition in 2022, Lord, raising the same grievance.
right.
This court says, as and when any incident happened, Lord, we are grateful to your Lordship. Lordship could show moto, otherwise we were contemplating to file. There is a judicial order that any order, Lord, any incident happened, then you come to us, Lord. Lord, now, my Lord, we are the association of 110 years old. As Mr. Kamath has said, my Lord, there is a being a part of the committee.
Can
My Lord,
we
can I? I'm so
Can
sorry.
we just suggest one thing?
Yes,
I think,
my lord.
because you know, in such a large matter,
Yes.
we have to bring
Yes.
some order to the
My Lord,
order also, which we pass.
please allow, sir.
If all of you who are intervening for various bodies
Yes,
can give on a slip of paper
yes,
name of the body
yes.
and whom you represent,
Very well.
we will put that in our order
I understand.
so that you know, your
I-
clients have that assurance that look, the Supreme Court is also factored in our
I
grievances.
understand. My Lord, that will be very
So
useful.
then we will say that out of these, the committee may take an appropriate decision on engaging with the representative.
But all that we were saying, my Lord, the committee constitute of a very respectable persons, my Lord, Lordship has chosen them. But some representation from the associations, my Lord, those who face day-to-day, my Lord, problems. Making representation to the committee and being a part of the committee, my Lord, would be a little, Lord, we have been hesitating this law. I'm sure, but Lordship thinks it appropriate. Lordship may take it, Lord.
I'll get a
Yeah,
response from.
And
That would be very helpful.
I had made two more aspects, Lord, two more small aspects. Lordship has flagged, my Lord, about 11 issues which the committee will take into account. Two more aspects, if your Lordships can kindly consider that. One is, my Lord, the distress call, my Lord, we mentioned it day before yesterday. Lordship said it will be part of the order, my Lord. I have seen, Lord, it is distress call system, my Lord, which is available, my Lord, on drop on a watch, on a mobile, my Lord. That can also be, my Lord, a part of it. Secondly, my Lord, institutional FIR, my Lord. What has been happening here, my Lord, the parents has to go, the relatives has to go. There should be an institutional FIR within 2 hours of a cognizable offense, my Lord. If that also comes with your Lordship's part of the order, my Lord. And finally, my Lord, the fast tracking of, my Lord, we have done cases 10 years back, my Lord. The trial is still proceeding. Lord, in 2016, my Lord, a person was murdered, a doctor was murdered inside the hospital, my Lord, at a point blank range. Nothing happened. There was a widespread hesitation. The chief minister said 50. What I'm saying, there are similar matters pending in this court. If a Lordship expedite that.
To obviate, you know, handing over slips, but we'll go about it in a very systematic way.
Yes.
Mr. Devdatta Kamath is appearing for whom?
Instead of your Lordships writing down, let us
Yeah.
give
Can we
it.
just, it'll be easier for us.
It
We'll
would be
spend the
easier.
next 5
It
minutes,
doesn't
you know.
look good also.
All right.
Your
My Lord,
Lordships are very kind, but
All right, what we are doing is, we are just circulating a sheet of paper if you can all just, as we are going along with the matter, write it, so we'll examine that and we'll put your names down.
I had made a request
My
yesterday.
lord,
Some SOP, the committee is looking into it. There is no SOP on the hours of the doctor.
Of course, we said that.
It is a specific,
it's a mandate.
remit of the commission.
One second, one second, one second.
And it's April.
One of the points which, that one para where I say, this is a non-exhaustive list. It specifically says that they are made to work for 36 hours. And one more thing, we have said, we have referred to working conditions in general, which includes the work. So please assure the doctors, we are as concerned about them, that they have to work for 36 hours.
Yes.
All of us have also had family members, relatives. We have gone to public hospitals.
Yes.
I have slept on the floor of a public hospital when somebody in the family was not well. So we have gone through that. And you observe all of them working for 36 hours.
But we would
Lord,
also not
I-
like, we would not like, my lord, a doctor who has not slept for 30 hours to treat us, my lord, because
May I just explain what happens in the hospitals? Because I have doctors in the family and also people studying in the medical colleges. What happens is that the senior, who are the third-year students of PG courses, they are the one who assign duty. You do a 12 hours to 24 hours, and then thereafter you are given a rest for 2 to 3 hours. Again, you are called back on duty. The junior doctors are the one who prepare the discharge summary. And the discharge summary is prepared by them. So the workload is then again 2-3 hours. So it is almost 48 hours. It is not even 36 hours. So my humble submission is that you are neither in a physical state or a mental state at that stage to even resist if somebody is teasing you. I'm not even on the bigger sexual assault. I'm not on that because there are many incidents.
So currently, if you look at our order,
Yes.
Sorry, to Ms. Kumudusad Das, what, if you see our order,
Yes. Your Lordship.
if you see our order, we have in fact highlighted this very aspect, that there is a certain hierarchical nature of the workplace in a public hospital or any hospital. So when we have referred to that, and we have said because of the hierarchical nature, doctors, including junior doctors, are susceptible to harassment, not just sexual harassment, but different kinds of harassment.
Yes, Your Lordship. Yeah.
So we have specifically referred to this, but now that you have mentioned it, in a course of our order, in a brief order today, we will add to that as well. No difficulty. Your point is perfectly well taken. So please.
My
don't
lord,
feel that
a
it's-
small point to
Absolutely.
supplement
Just
that.
say,
is that
Yeah.
because
My
I
lord,
also
may I
come
just
from a
take a
family of
minute?
doctors, is that the counter to that, of course, is the fact that there are lots of peer-reviewed studies to say that continuity is important. Now, obviously, doctors can't be treated like this in light of that. So the committee should look into it and propose something
You see,
that
there is
has
another, I'll tell
adequate
you one thing.
safeguards.
I'll tell you one thing. We have got so many emails. I've been flooded with emails which I've been reading to the extent humanly possible. There's another viewpoint also that, look, if you have doctors only on duty for 8 hours, then the purpose is that the doctor must be able to see the evolution of the patient. So that patient is there overnight, then your duty hours may extend beyond 8 hours so that you see that what is the development in the case of the patient between the time you entered and the time you exited. But we are not going to make any
No,
comment on
all
that.
of
But the
us-
committee will.
Your lordship.
Lord, but for all these others,
one
Certainly,
thing is.
48 hours of duty or 36 hours of duty is a little too aggressive.
is not
Really.
really human.
My
My lord,
lord,
may
what
I
is-
say I'm representing the KG Car Medical Junior Resident Doctors. They are still RG Car. And my lord, they are
By the
still,
way, Brother Justice Rishikesh Roy pointed out to me in another CB yesterday that you kept on saying car is car. So I said, well, I
We are
apologize to him.
forgetting one crucial thing.
so my lord,
Can I speak?
can I
We are
just,
forgetting one crucial thing. All doctors, my lord, which your lordships have constituted in the committee, they have passed through this very phase. They are aware of the problems.
so my lord, I'm just saying that they are still terrorized. They are still in fear. They are saying our senior residents are back at work. We'll give it to the Registrar General in a sealed cover, the names of the people. There are about 70 junior residents and they are interns, and they are still feeling terrorized. They are threatened. They are actually being targeted
Geetal,
in the hospital.
but terrorized by whom? Because this is a serious thing. And they
Yes.
in the Ajit or medical hospital, CISF
is already there now.
What is their
But
grievance?
instead of, my lord, giving them here, let them be given to me. I'll ensure, my lord, CISF to do the needful. My lord.
Yes,
Be
but
better.
we have to have their names in seal cover because those who've spoken up are feeling targeted already.
Yes.
And they have a
But
timeline
targeted-
of
but targeted-
videos they have taken.
Targeted by whom? Don't give us names, but targeted broadly
By
by.
officials, my lords, by goons. I am for
By-
the 20,000 doctors
by
in the, Kolkata, my lords.
But
and
your lordship sees the.
Some of,
report,
many
my
of
lord,
them work in
By,
RG car.
Possibly a hint of.
by members of the administration, by people who are in the hospital.
All right,
and
we'll take note of that. We'll
Yes,
take note.
There is one more submission, Your Lordship. There's a last submission, Your Lordship, I want to make. Can we have a compensation distress fund
That's been
for the victims and the deceased of the family created by the state so that when at the time of the crisis of this kind of situation, they can be also get a compensation system like what we have done in the Nirbhaya case, Your Lordship.
All right, let's just see the status report for a moment. We'll just see the status.
With your lordship,
Just give us one moment.
with your lordship permission, may I just
One second.
If
We'll have to
lordship
put in.
permits us, then should we post on the filing, e-filing, the suggestions or the pointers that we have, because it is anonymity which the resident doctors and interns from different places they are requesting, because the direct impact is on them. And their mental state is terrible. There is also a survey report of National Medical Council which says that 28%.
Point taken.
Under-
There should be a portal where suggestions can be given to the
Yes.
committee, even anonymously, without disclosure of identity.
Yes.
Point well taken. Noted.
Lords, after the status report, could we have 1 minute on the SIT, my lords? We are representing 5 associations of doctors. And the difficulty is that there is an institutional compromise with regard to the financial regularities and the rate. Here's why. There were the same gentleman who was the head of Dr. Shundip Ghosh, who was head of this RG Core Medical College. Also, for example, commissioned, asked for CCTV cameras for 14 lakhs to be rented. Now, had he bought those CCTV cameras, they would have been there. It would have been a deterrent and there would have been better accountability. An SIT 2 days ago was, and I have the notification here, my lords. An SIT was set up by the West Bengal government. To look into these irregularities by the same person, and that only constitutes officials that are under the control of the West Bengal government.
But would your lordship consider having the status report?
Earlier form
It is so powerful that.
is the earlier
In-
form.
That my lords,
Why are you saying all this?
he's been
Lordship,
required. Please.
In the nurses case,
Please,
he was
please.
the IG.
Your lordships, my lord, consider the report first, my lord.
All right.
That
just-
might, my
So,
lord.
my
give
lords,
a-
with regard to the SIT, just to
Just
close
one
that
second.
loop.
Let's see the report
Yes,
and then we will
let
come
the
back to you on the
report be
SIT.
seen.
Yes, my lord.
We've also filed our report.
Your Honor, I'm Dr. Rajiv Yoshi calling from
Just
Pune.
one second. Everybody can just hold their patience for 2 minutes. Let's quickly run through the two status reports.
The state's report was not called for, but they have, my lord, asked, your lordship's way, my lord, it's entirely your
It's been
lordship.
called for in the order. Why
It
did
has
my
been
learned
called
friend say
for
that?
the order.
I thought we had asked for the.
Yes, of course.
The order.
Page 10, my lord, raise please, my lord, is.
in
Page
fact-
10 of yours.
In fact,
Mine,
Madas,
my
I
lord,
might, if your lordship will give me a minute, Madas, I don't want to interfere.
We'll just quickly run through this, then come back to you in a moment. So that we
Very
go step by step.
very
10 para 7, Lord, before that, we have narrated the facts, etc., which broadly your lordships are aware, so I'm not, and I'm obviously not reading, my lord, your lordships may read from para 7. So date and time may kindly be, my lord, taken note of. My lord, eventually we have, this is very, very preliminary finding, but we have recorded some,
All right.
flagged some issues.
We just.
I'm ask if they have a spare copy. Please read.
It's only for the court.